Alright, what I'm going to show you today is how to set a static IP address. Most of us don't pay much attention to the fact that we have dynamically assigned IP addresses in our home offices, but at the point where you're starting to get IP conflicts because you've got too many devices on your network, you're getting those little pop-up messages maybe in Windows saying there's an IP conflict, or you're noticing certain devices are running really slow on the internet and you have to reset the router. A lot of those can be caused by IP conflicts. Another reason you might want to set static is if you're setting up a server or you want to remote into your PC. You want the IP address to stay the same so you don't have to try to figure out which computer on your network or what IP address is actually the computer you're trying to remote into. So a lot of good advantages, and we're going to do this really quick here. So you're just going to come down in Windows 10, you're going to do a search, you're going to type CMD for command prompt. So CMD, and that's going to pull up this window here. And let me make this big for you. And you're going to type the command ipconfig/all. And you're going to get this data, and for some of you it may look Greek. I wouldn't worry about it too much. Keep in mind that in my case I'm direct connecting to the router. If you're on Wi-Fi though, the rules still apply. They're still the same, but notice I have multiple adapters here. I have Ethernet 3 and 2. One of them, if you look at the description, is a tap Windows adapter, and that's for a VPN network. So you may have that if you have a VPN set up. If not, you may just see the top one. It doesn't really matter if you have wireless. You'll see that in here that you have a Wi-Fi connection set up, and it will have very similar information. So the next step that you want to do is we're going to type in network on our search, and you're going to look at view network connections, and then we're going to pull that up right here. So we know my tap is disabled and I'm not using it, and this is the one I'm utilizing. If you see your Wi-Fi network set up here, then you would just choose that. Right click, go to properties, and then you're going to search for IPv4 here. So now notice that it says obtain an IP address automatically. That's what I was talking about with the dynamic assignment. I want to assign one. Right now my IP address is 192.168.1.2, but I'm going to put it at 205 because your system's going to automatically, generally your routers are going to assign the first numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as the devices connect. So I know at 205 there's no chance for conflicts because I'm not going to get up to 205 devices that it's assigning. It's automatically going to put your subnet mask in, but you can check that here, and you can see our subnet mask is the same. Our default gateway is 192.168.1.1. Now, if you have any of these settings that you're not sure about or you're not getting this screen, then log into your router directly and you can get the information from there. And that default gateway IP address is what you would just put into a browser. Just literally in a browser, just type 192.168.1.1 and it'll pop up, or whatever your default gateway is, it'll pop up with a prompt asking you for your username and password. Unfortunately, most of you probably leave it as its default, but if you've changed it, then hopefully you've recorded that and you log into your router and you can see some of your settings directly there. For DNS, in my case, my router picks it up from the service provider, so I'm going to go ahead and do 192.168.1.1, and yours is probably the same way. But you'll know right here because you'll have a DNS servers, and you may have two listed there if yours doesn't automatically assign them. So in my case, I only have the one, so that's what I would put for both. But once you fill that out, you're just going to click OK. And oops, I tried to do the same one here. Let me just take out alternate because we don't need one, and then click OK. So now when I come back to my screen, what you're going to see is ipconfig/all. And now notice my IP address is now changed to 192.168.1.205, which I set up. Everything is working perfectly. My internet is functioning, and you can just test that. Go to Google or anywhere else, and you are good to go. I am all set up and ready. So that is how you set up a static IP address. I hope this was helpful. Leave your comments below if you have any issues. I'd love to try to help. And until next time, get in there and try to break something.